Happy fall, everyone. I'm in the process of creating a new poem dance, and I wanted to share with you some of the inspirations for it. About a year ago, my mother asked me to create a poem dance about California. California has played a big role in my family's life, and at some point or the other, each one of us made our way out here individually. But when my mother asked me to create the piece, it felt like strange timing because I was on my way out of California, headed to the other side of the world. But I told her I would make the piece, and I would do it at the right time. And finally, I think the right time is now. I'm back in California, and I have been even more touched by its beauty, having been away from it for a year. What's inspiring me for this piece, among other things, is the landscape of this state, the varied topography, its beautiful trees, the desert, the mountains, and of course the ocean. I've also been inspired by the people here. I've made amazing friends, fellow artists and healers, and individuals who are on a path of spiritual growth and self-understanding. And I find this spirit to be really strong in California. One such individual I met has been Barry Coral, who's a great artist, a long-time living foodist, a self-described gentleman farmer who owns a tropical farm in Southern California.
On integrating life and experiences, and I've been doing small sketching and everything and traveling. And finally one day I just came in here and just started going into it and just came up with a whole new series of creation. What do you think?
I will share more about my visit with Barry in a later video, but I wanted to say here that his artwork and his artistry of his land and home have been inspirations for me in this piece. So I can't talk about California without talking about Joan Didion, who's one of my favorite writers. I got to meet Joan Didion about a decade ago when she signed my well-loved, tattered copy of The White Album, one of her books. But what I'm reading now of hers is Slouching Towards Bethlehem, which has a great collection of essays around California. And my favorite of them is probably Goodbye to All That, in which she talks about leaving New York City for the West Coast. Reading that essay was incredibly helpful for me when I was leaving New York, also for the West Coast. So I'm pretty sure this poem dance will be a very personal one, inspired by my family and our journey here. California, for me, my experience here represents hope, abundance, self-care, retreat. It's been a healing place for me and my family, and I'm really excited to see how this poem dance unfolds and at the right time to share it with you. Much love.